everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. So it's Sunday and I always jump on at 12 o'clock Pacific on Sunday to show you a project with, I don't know, sometimes it's a new product suite like it is today, sometimes it's a returning product suite, so always have something different to show you. And today I decided to pull out the Sweetest Cherries bundle, which is a new bundle from the annual catalog. I just got my order on, I'm going to say Thursday, Friday last week, Wednesday maybe. Hey Nancy, hey Lynette. And this was, I saw this bundle and I don't know why it caught my eye. Maybe it's because I love cherries. Maybe it's because I love the big words that you can stamp. In this case, you could also stamp and fussy cut. I don't know, it caught my eye, and so I decided I needed this bundle. So let me switch over to my desktop and I will show you a card I'm going to make. We'll see how this turns out. This is one where I have an idea. I hope it'll turn out. I was inspired by a picture in the catalog, and so we'll see if it works for me like it worked in the catalog. All right, let me switch over. All right, so this is the Sweetest Cherries bundle. It is a punch bundle, and I am always a sucker for punches. So great cherries that you can stamp and then punch out with the leaves and the stem. Also these great sentiments. This is a suite. So for me, like I said, I'm a sucker for big words that you can stamp. And then in this case, fussy cut out, and then a whole bunch of combinations. And then this is a great kind of basket weave font stamp. Hello, welcome from the UK. It's wet here on the west coast of Canada too, so we're in good company. Hey, Catherine. So you could use this to make a basket. I'm going to use this as a pattern on my card. So like I said, we'll see how this turns out. Now, I want to show you a technique for stamping and then punching out. So if you're like me, let me just grab a scrap of paper. Here's a scrap. If you're like me, what I often do is I go and I do my stamping. So if I stamp my sweet cherry here, and then I stamp, and I'm going to use, so I'm using Sweet Sorbet and I'm using Parakeet Party. So I go and I stamp because I don't know where they are on the punch. And I guess that shouldn't be green, but it's going to be green. So then I go to punch these out and I put it in, and I could easily punch the cherry out, but now I'm going to cut part of my leaf out. So the thing to do is take a piece of scrap paper. I've used just some basic white cardstock and punch out. Oops, I've got it backwards here. Punch out a template. And then just keep this in your card, your stamp case. So now when you go to stamp, which I need another, oops, wrong color. Here's a piece of paper. Okay, so now I've got a piece. So now I'm going to stamp my cherry. So just take your template and lay it down on your cardstock that you're going to punch out, and then use this as a template and stamp. So now you know exactly where to stamp your leaves. I just have to get them turned around. So I can stamp out 2 leaves and just like that. And I can take the stem. So just pretend this is not green, but it's going to be green on my card. So now I can take my stem like that. And now I have the perfect lineup. Let's see here. No. So this will fit in, and I can take and punch out all of my images in one go, which without being frustrated by having, oops, to cut pieces and just fuss around with it. So now I have my cherries, and I'm actually going to take and I'm just going to punch this cherry out as well. Let's see if I can use this one. I'm going to do what I said I get frustrated but I've already got this punched out, so let me make use of this stem and some of these that I have. This is kind of what you have to do if you haven't got your template. Oopsie. There we go. There's my stem. I just want to have a few pieces of the cherry so that I can adhere them on. Okay, so there's my cherries cut. Kind of got out. I was so excited about this template. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do, the other supplies I've got for my card. I am using Sweet Sorbet because it is one of my favorite in colors. So I've got a piece that is 4 1/4 by 11. So in metric, this would be half of your cardstock, and it's cut the long way. And so I'm scoring this at 5 1/2, but it would be scored at whatever it is on your metric cardstock. One of these days I will learn that off the top of my head. And as always, grab your bone folder. This is the side I scored on, so fold it. This is the side with a raised line, so fold into that raised line or into the mountain. My grid paper matches perfectly today. This is the new in color grid paper that you can get. Stampin' Up's got some great branded merchandise, and so this is one of them with some great, all the in colors. Just give me a second here. Okay, hopefully I got that. All right, so now I've got a piece of basic white cardstock. Now I saw this in the catalog where they took the basket weave stamp and they used it as a border on top and bottom. So I decided that I was going to take and do a black and white border, black and white kind of basket weave border. So let me see, and that should fit. So I'm using tuxedo black. Hopefully this will work. And so I'm just going to stamp it a couple of times across the top and bottom. Kind of makes it look like a tablecloth. At least, I don't know. That was my thought with this, is a black and white check tablecloth. And then I just thought this would be quite striking on this. Okay, so then we'll put our cherries on like that. Okay, now what I need to do is do some stamping of the words, and I'm going to stamp these in Sweet Sorbet as well. So here's my Sweet Sorbet. Hello, Ginny. Oh, from Alaska. Welcome. All right, I've got my big sweet, and I'm going to stamp this in Sweet Sorbet. I'm going to fussy cut that out because I love just a fussy cut. And then I'm going to stamp wishing you. So it's going to say wishing you a sweet day. So wishing you a. So it's really cool that you can make. Well, let's do this one. You can take all of the different words in this stamp set and really make it what you want. It's kind of cool. Makes it very flexible. All right, so let's take and fussy cut these words. You could punch it out. You could use a label die. You could just cut a piece to fit using your trimmer, whatever you like. But if you follow me, you know that I very often, fussy cut my sentiments. Not sure where I got into that habit, but. So when you're cutting, just a reminder, you always steer with the hand opposite to what has the scissors. It just makes it easier. And for this one, I'm not going to go around like I did. I'm just going to kind of keep it straight like that. So this one, I'm not even trying to make it straight, and that way it doesn't look like I tried to do something and then didn't get it very straight. All right. Okay, and then this one, we'll do the same. We're just going to cut straight lines, or sort of straight lines around the words. If you don't like to fussy cut, grab a punch, grab a die, or just use your paper trimmer. There we go. So there's my words. Okay, let's see. Now, the other thing I grabbed was this amazing gingham ribbon that I was so excited that came back into the, or didn't retire, I guess, into the annual catalog. This was part of the, if I can get it open, the Peaceful Cabin product suite that was in the July to December mini catalog. And I just thought this would look cool on here as well. So let's take this and wrap it around and tie a bow. Let's see if I can tie a bow. All right. Placement. Oh, placemat. Maybe that's what you mean. Placemats now, Nancy. Yeah. These. Now, I watched Patty Bennett make a card the other day on the demonstrator planning place. When the sales, so I'm on part of the Stampin' Up! Sales and promotions team. And so for demonstrators, and I think Patty shared this on her blog the other day, she used this to create a napkin that she folded over. And she kind of combined this with another bundle that has a basket that you can cut out, which I thought was very clever. But yeah, so, okay, so when I tie a bow, I want my tails going in the direction. So in this case, this is my bottom. This is the top. I want my tails facing the bottom. So I always turn my cardstock upside down. That way I can kind of focus on where the tails go. And I tuck this one under so the tail is facing to the bottom. And then tie my bow and try and keep it so that the tails go in the direction I want them. Otherwise, I end up with tails on my ribbon that go in, I don't know, they go in all sorts of directions and I don't want them. So in this case, I'm just fussing with the size of the bow for the moment. And then when you've got it, you can actually take and use a glue dot if you find that your bow is not, it's a little loose. Mine's a little loose. So I'm going to take and put a glue dot on here when I've figured out exactly where I want it to go. So for these, so I think that's where I want it for now, hopefully. And so let's just take a glue dot and just tuck it underneath this bow so it stays in place. And then I can adhere this down. Now, when I've got ribbon on my card base, I tend to like to use Stampin' Seal. So if you follow me, you know I tend to use the liquid glue. But I do like to use Stampin' Seal when I have ribbon. And the reason I do is because I can use the Stampin' Seal to adhere the ribbon down. It just tends to hold it in place a little better than the liquid glue. So we'll put this onto our card base. I think that's quite striking. Let's cut these off so they're not quite so long. Okay, now we can take, let's see, let's do some, we've got lots of words here to try and get. So it's got to say, wishing you a sweet day, like that. Now, where can we put our, how about we put these down here, like that. We'll pop them up like that. There. Okay. So we can take and use mini dimensionals for some of these that are too small. And I like to use quite a few across my piece because I don't like it to have a saggy middle. Yeah, I know people get frustrated because they see me making bows. I guess it's because I've had lots of practice. I don't know. I know there are bow makers that you can get. I was never very successful. My husband made me one of those many years ago. I think it's just practice making bows. I know when I was doing in-person classes, lots of people liked me to make their bows. All right, let's put this here. And let's put this day beside it. I'm just going to tuck that underneath there like that. And then I always struggle getting the backing off. I struggle with the mini dimensionals. So I use my take your pick tool. So we'll put that there. Now we will pop these up. Now before I do that, I was thinking some Wink of Stella would look nice. Oh yeah, a fork. That works well as well, Nancy. And I've also seen like a large fork, you know, like a barbecue fork to make really big bows. So different size. So I'm just kind of lightly coloring my cherries with Wink of Stella. Now, one tip with your Wink of Stella, I did not squeeze this to get, I actually didn't really try. I should have, but if you're not sure that you've got Wink of Stella enough in your tip of your brush, make sure when you squeeze that you have it on a scrap of paper, because the last thing you want is to get a big splodge of Wink of Stella all over your project. And that definitely, speaking from experience, that has happened to me. So in this case, I didn't even try. I just assumed I had some liquid in there that would work, and I did. All right, let's do this down here. And this maybe tucked underneath it, like that. And then now let's see if I can. If you've got a tiny little piece like this, grab your silicone mat, and I'm going to use some liquid glue, just because sometimes when I have little tiny pieces, I get glue all over it. So this just stops getting liquid glue all over my grid paper. And we will just put these pieces. So tuck that underneath like that. And let's see, take your pick tool. Now I got glue on my fingers. And that one can go there. And then I'm going to use mini dimensionals. Maybe, there we go, for the leaves. Oops. All right. So the only other thing, I have a piece for the inside of the card. That's I make a mess. And the other thing that I grabbed were, these are the In Color Matte Decorative Dots. They come in each of the new In Colors. And so they are 2 different sizes, and you get 5 different colors or shades of the In Colors. So let's add some of these Sweet Sorbet ones. Oops, there we go. And one down here, just to kind of fancy up the front of the card. And then let's stamp another, oops, drop this. Let's stamp another cherry on the inside. And a stem. See if I can get my stem kind of touching. Not too bad. Sometimes I don't get it stamped very well and it looks like it's free floating in air. There. I just love that cherry. I don't know why. It just caught my eye. And then we can now adhere this to the inside of my card. All right. There we go. So that is at least my card for the Sweet Cherries bundle. And the punch and a couple of techniques for stamping using a template. So that template that I cut, I'm just going to take and put right inside my stamp case, and I've got it for the next time I go to use it and need to punch out my card. Yeah, thank you. I think that, like I said, I wasn't so sure that where I was inspired. The card in the catalog I think was yellow. But I thought it would look cool with the black and sweet sorbet. So I hope you like that. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I think it's on page 19 of the catalog. So check it out at Punch Bundle. All right. So I will be back on Tuesday night with my sketch challenge. If you're interested, I also do a Zoom class on Monday nights. You're welcome to join. You'll just have to find the information in my Facebook group, and there'll be a link to all my Facebook group, Facebook page, Instagram, and all that is underneath this video when it goes live. If you live in Canada, I do have a bit of a incentive trip bonus going on, so you can check that out. If you place an order, you will get, depending on the order, if a $60 or more in Canada, you will get the embellishments of your choice. And then if $120 order, you will get an embossing folder of your choice. So this is as a bonus. So I was so fortunate to earn the incentive trip, which less than 1% of all demonstrators worldwide earn it. So I was so honored. And this week is the virtual incentive trip that we have going on. So this incentive trip was canceled, and so unfortunately we can't go, but they're doing some amazing things for us this week. So I have a bit of bonus for you if you purchase something from me, put an order in with me this week. If you're interested in more information, check out my Facebook page, Facebook group, or reach out to me through email. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. See you online this week. Happy stamping. Bye.